Hello, my name is Peyton Lecco and welcome to my authortube channel. So if you've been around, you know I've been posting videos for a couple months, but since my channel is still fairly new, I wanted to do this authortube newbie test. So let's dive in. How did I find out about authortube? Christy Ann Jones was the first authortuber I ever watched, but I did not have a clue that authortube was its own niche within the internets of YouTube until I started getting more recommendations like Brielle writes. Those two were my gateway, and after talking to a friend and my fiance, I finally decided to take the leap. What genres do I write in? Speculative is the all-encompassing. I love fantasy. My current lit project, Old Lovers, is a fantasy romance, but I have ideas for sci-fi. I'm a romance girly. I'd like to try magical realism. When I write, I often just ask the question, what if? However, I spent a chunk of formative college years and had my first full-time job in Japan, and I would love to write some kind of travel memoir guide about that time in my life, those experiences. I do currently write for the local newspaper. I've also written and published local tourism pieces. I did a marketing internship for DK Eyewitness when I lived in Japan and had a travel piece published by them on one of their websites. For a while, I was a freelance blog writer on Upwork, and I also ran and wrote a travel blog when I lived in Japan. In college, I wrote a few short stories and poems that I had published in whatever our local school publication was. It's not online or anything. It was like a print only kind of deal. So my writing experience, it's there's variety to it. There's spice if you want. I don't know. There's variety to it. Even when I've been doing other work for my full-time job, I've always had a toe dipped into writing. But now I'm shifting more specifically towards that speculative fiction and novel writing. What's my preferred writing tense? Third person omniscient. Without a doubt. Like, that's the one. Usually I hate first person, but recently I've been listening to Bride by Ali Hazelwood, I believe, and I'm really enjoying it. It's first person, and I was immediately hooked into the book. So maybe it just takes a certain level of skill to write in first person and have it be enjoyable. Tale as old as time. This question is just so plotter or pantser. Hybrid discovery writer. So I do write outlines. I do quick screen chapter outlines, but those often change. If we're talking gardener or architect, I'm a gardener. Publishing path, traditional publishing. And I strongly feel this in my gut. I don't have an issue with self-publishing, but right now in my gut, trad pub feels right. What can you expect from my channel? Well, I already have a couple videos up if you want to go take a look at those and get an idea of the content. But right now, as we're working on Project Old Lovers, we're in the first draft, and a majority of my content, the main content, is focused on that writing journey. And I plan to take you guys along for that whole thing. So right now we're just writing the first draft and getting that done. But I plan to take you through revision, that developmental edit, beta readers, querying, the whole shebang. Along the way, we'll be doing various writing challenges. We'll try out different writing routines to see what fits me, including famous author routines, general writing vlogs, as well as writing craft and writing tips. I'll also be doing some book reviews because as an author, you're supposed to read a lot. And I miss talking about what I read. I miss those English classes. And I'll also be giving you guys little glimpses of lifestyle and my life behind the scenes, what I do for work, little glimpses of running the coffee shop. But the main content is my book writing journey. When did I start writing? I think it was somewhere between the ages of like 6 and 8 years old. I kind of like phased out of it again. And then at the age of 11 to 13, I started to write 2 books secretly on Wattpad. And then again in high school, like my senior year, I again started to write a novel. I've tried writing short stories, poems, novels, various things, and usually stopped. It was always a big secret because my family was always been very against like creative fields as your line of work. So like writing, no, that's art, no, Like, they always wanted me to go and be a lawyer or a doctor, and that's just not who I am. So instead I just did it creatively, and then often it just fizzled out because I was encouraged to do other activities. What was the first story I wrote? So when I was like 6 to 8 years old, with my childhood best friend of the time, we were like, we want to write a story. And so we started writing a story about a panda and a turtle together, because those were our favorite animals. Hers was the panda, mine was the turtle. And we're just like, what would happen if a panda and a turtle became best friends? And she quickly lost interest, but I was like hooked. I was like, Adventures of Panda and Turtle, let's go. And I like illustrated it very badly, and that was my first story. What authors have inspired me? So this is gonna be controversial now, but we're just gonna rip the band-aid off. J.K. Rowling in the Harry Potter series. I read it as a kid, and it's what made me fall in love with reading and writing. Hayao Miyazaki, yes, that's film, but it's still a form of storytelling, and I love it. Some general authors in childhood: Philip Pullman, Suzanne Collins, Barbara Park, the woman who wrote Junie B. Jones, was obsessed. Lemony Snicket, Laurie Halse Anderson, Scott Westerfield. More recently in adulthood, Brandon Sanderson, Sarah J. Maas, Rebecca Yarros. I could keep going, but we'll stop for now. Do I schedule my writing sessions? Yes and no. So I know that I will be writing on weekends at some point, because that's when I have the most free time, but I don't restrict myself from writing during the weekday. Sometimes I'll do it for challenges just to see how it goes, but usually no, it's more of just like a spontaneous, if I find a pocket of time during the weekday writing, but I know I will always be writing during the weekend. Where do I write? Typically at home, at my desk, on my laptop. In college, I was very much like a couch writer. Like, I would write essays and stuff, and I just haven't done that. I don't know. The couch has become more of a relaxation area. Recently, I did a cafe writing day vlog, like writing date day, where I got out of the house and tried writing in different places, and I really enjoyed that. I think I will continue to do that. What am I looking forward to as an authortuber? Making writer friends and creating a writing community for myself. When I was younger, before college, like high schoolish, junior high time, I had a friend who was interested in writing, and we were friends, but I tried to push us into like writing friend zone, and they like completely shut me down. They said that when they talk about writing, they feel like their brain has already like accomplished it, and then they don't write. And I like, for whatever reason, I internalized that, and I was like, oh, that's like how it works. Maybe that's my problem too, and that's why I'm not finishing my novels that I keep starting when I was younger. And that was not the case. And so to be on authortube and to talk about things, even if it's in really vague terms, is just really fun and exciting and relaxing, and I'm excited to make writing friends. Of course, there's like the accountability aspect and the looking back on the documenting of the journey and feeling inspired by that. But I'm mostly excited for writing friends and community, and to inspire each other and support each other. So that's my authortube newbie tag video, and until next time, cheers.